Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Anand Ganu. Welcome you all for this workshop in Flutter. I'll talk a little bit about Garze Marathi. First and foremost, I thank Renuka Kelkar and her team for taking this initiative and taking this effort to share their knowledge and expertise with all of us. Let me tell you a little bit about Garze Marathi. Garze Marathi Garze Marathi Global is a professional platform that has created bond between the global Marathi community through the excellence driven by education and culminating social and collective intelligence. Garze Marathi Global is a platform for non-resident and back to motherland Marathi who have value, knowledge, education, entrepreneurship. Garze Marathi has got four main objectives: networking, mentoring, giving back to the society that is our roots and where we stay, and also to celebrate the success of fellow Marathis. We are blessed to have Dr. Raghunath Padmabhushan, Dr. Raghunath Maishkalkar as our mentor. We run various initiatives to add value to what value to Garze Marathi and to the best utilize such a stalwarts and such a industry as well as professional experts that those who have joined Garze Marathi. We run Garze Marathi Innovation Academy as well as acceleration program for early stage startup. We have Garze Marathi mentoring program. We have more than 40 mentors who are experts in various professions, various academics. They mentor those who need their mentoring. Garze Marathi is running a Saksham program, which is actually one of the big initiatives that we are undertaken, wherein we want to help economically disadvantaged students by providing them with contents as well as the digital devices such as tablets. Garze Marathi Biohealth Pharma Tech program is there, wherein of this niche area, people come together. It is peer to very useful for peer-to-peer interaction. Garze Marathi Agritech Forum is there, wherein we are working on various initiatives such as urban farming, vertical farming, which can be, the new technologies, how they can be brought to India or how they can be brought to your backyard. And then we run Teach to Teach program. Actually, what Renuka is doing is part of that Teach to Teach program as well as Garze Marathi Stri Shakti. And latest we have launched Garze Marathi Job Interview Help. Under Job Interview Help, we are helping those who are appearing. We sort of realized, that our students, our young professionals, though they are professionally very qualified, they are not exactly ready for the interview. So we are trying to help them. With this introduction about Garze Marathi, if I start talking, because it is so close to my heart, I might consume most of the time, which I don't want to do. With introduction about Garze Marathi, I request Renuka ji to take over. Over to Renuka.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Happy Teachers' Day. Today is Teachers' Day. And thank you, Anandji. You have given this opportunity to share our knowledge on this occasion as well. So, my name is Renuka Kelkar. I am from London. And I am a founder of the Tech Power Girls community, where we have started this community to empower the moms, especially who are having 5+ years of gap in their IT career. And we teach them the app development, Flutter app development, where there we mentor them, we help them to create their portfolio, we make them ready for the job market. And the huge response getting for this initiative, we have started to giving the mentorship for the students and the other who want to learn the Flutter. So yesterday we have done our first session with Garze Marathi Global, and today my one of my team members, she is going to take this today's session. Her name is Vaishnavi. Vaishnavi, do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, sure. First of all, a very good evening to one and all present here. Today I'm here to explain the basic concept of the Flutter, and by this end of this session, you will get the idea about this concept and you'll be able to create and customize your own application. So let's start with that. I'll start by sharing my screen. Okay. So first of all, am I audible?
Yes.
Clearly? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay, I am an undergraduate student and I'm also a Flutter developer. And I would like to thanks Karze Marathi and Tech Power Girls community for giving this opportunity to head over this session. And let's start with the tutorials now. Okay, so this is the UI we are going to replicate today. And these are the widgets you are going to learn today. Last day you learn about the container, about network image and all those things. And today we'll learn these widgets, say text form field, material button, stack, and asset image widgets. So let's start with that. And here are the components which we are going to use. Okay, so let's start with the stack. So I hope you all are from the programming background, so you all are aware about what is stack. So okay, so stack is nothing but the overlapping. So here I have shared you one code snippet. In that I have declared 3 containers. As you can see here, these are overlapping one over other. So to get these functionality in Flutter, we use stack. As you can see in this animation too, these blocks are overlapping one over other. So this is the exact functionality which we are to use. So let's head over to the Android SDK and let's start with it. Okay. So, okay. So this is the method which we all are aware of, that is main method. Any program that is been declared with this main method. So let's start with this. So currently it's showing error. Why? Because we haven't declared it yet. So let's start. Okay, so here we are going to interact between the two UIs. So we have to use stateful widget. As you have learned about stateless widget last day, so here we are going to use stateful widget. So let's start with it. Okay, so in this main.dat file, I'm going to declare the class that is stateful. And then, which is my app. And this is going to return the material app, which is the root widget. Okay. Perfect. And okay. So in this material app, we have to declare a theme which will set the inbuilt color to our application. So it has a widget called theme data, and it has a property called primary swatch, and we can set our colors dot deep purple, let's say. And then we will set our login page, which is this one, which we are going to create. Okay, so home page and login. Now it's gonna give me error. Why? Because this page don't know about this page which we have created, this class. So let's import it. So whenever you create any of the file, you have to import, you have to tell this SDK, Android SDK, that we have declared something new. So let's try it. Okay. So in this login page, basically I can create this login class here, over here in the main.dat file. But as soon as you get into the Flutter journey and you create more dynamic applications, so there'll be much more pages. So it is always a good practice to keep your code modular. So, okay. So as I said, I'm going to make this application a little bit more interactive. So I'm going to use stateful widget, which is login page, which we have declared. So here I can see a lot of errors. So how do we deal with it? By importing a material.dart, as these widgets are all the libraries of this material.dart file package. Okay, so it's still giving me error. Why? Because we haven't imported it yet. So let's import it. So yeah, I can see that error gone away. So let's start with the login page. So basically, we are going to replicate this application. So for that, I'm going to use stack. So what is stack? It is nothing but the overlapping widget. This is useful if you want to overlap several children. So as stack is a multi-children widget, so we can declare n number of children to create our application. So I'm going to simply return Stateful, where it will give me all the properties which I want to use. So in that we have body property, and we are going to return a column. Why? Because as you can see in this UI, all the components are aligned vertically. So that's why I'm using column widget. So as I said, column, row, and stack, these three are multi-children widget. So we have to specify this children property, let's say. So in that, we can declare n number of children to use to get our functionality. So in this, we are going to, let's say, declare, first of all, stack. Perfect. So as I said, these three row, column, and stack are the multi-children widgets. So we have to mention this children property. Then only we are able to declare all those things. So let's start with it. So in this tag, let's say in this login page, as you can see here, I have a container with a background of a lighter shade of a purple color, let's say. And in that, I have mentioned a text and an image which is overlapping. You can see here, it is overlapping on the container. Half of the image is overlapping on the container and half of the image is on the screen. So to get these functionality, we use stack. It is not possible by using column or let's say row. You have to deal with very padding and styling and all those things. So it is always good to use the stack widget to get this overlapping functionality. So uh, first of all, I would like to mention the container widget. And in that, I have a property called decoration. So in that, we have a widget called box decoration. As Flutter is all about widget, so yes, you have to declare it. So box decoration. So box decoration, in that we are going to get the container with the circular borders. So for that, I'm going to mention border radius. You have to mention this border radius to get the circular borders. So in border radius, we have a border radius widget dot only. Why we are using only? Because we just want these two edges to be circular. So that's why I'm using only. Okay. It has a property called circular have to mention this bottom right and bottom left whenever you're dealing with this functionality. Okay, so bottom right, in that I have radius dot circular, and we can mention the specified radius. So I'm going to simply do this for the bottom left as well. So let me just copy paste so that it won't take much time. Bottom left. So let's run it. Actually, I want to specify the color as well. Okay, so we are done with the bottom. We are circulating this edges. We'll head over to the colors dot deep purple. So with the lighter shade, as you can see, it is a little bit lighter shade. Yes, let's try to run it. Okay, so as you can see here, the white screen. Why? Because we haven't specified any of these, let's say, alignment, height or width. So let's try to give it. So after the box decoration, we have the property called height. I'm going to give height of 280 maybe, and width of 600. Okay, so can you see this? We got the same container. So in this container, I want an image, as you can see in the PPT as well. I want this image. So how do we get that? As you've learned about the image called network image last day, here we are going to use asset image. There are two types of image in Flutter. So we are going to deal with the asset image today. So network image means you can just mention the URL and get that image. But in asset image, you have to specify those image in the local folders. As you can see here, I've created one directory called assets, and another direct in that, and another directory file called images. I have mentioned two images for an example, and whenever you are specifying any of the local folders, you have to tell this SDK that we have specified. For that, we have a file called pubspecaml.com .art, and in that you will find this comments. In that it says assets. So I have to uncomment this, and a very important thing here I would like to mention, that is this file is very case sensitive. So you have to be very careful with the spacing and all those things. Okay, perfect. So here I have mentioned the let's say this folders. So let's try to get that. And whenever you do something changes in this folder, you have to get this pub.get button, so that it will tell this SDK that something has mentioned. Okay. So after container, I want an image here. So image dot asset, and here we have to mention the name with folders. So here I have a folder called asset. In that again I have a folder of images. So you have to mention that. I have a folder called assets and images and the image name. Here I'm going to image.png. Image.png. So let's try to get that by giving some of the height and width. Okay. So after that, I have height property, let's say of 280 maybe, and width of, let's say, 600. Okay, I got this image, but it has aligned itself towards the center of the circle container. But we don't want that. We want to replicate this UI. So how do we get that? By using stack, and you can align it by using padding property. So just wrap this widget with the padding, and you can align it by yourself. So here I would like to give padding with from some top, I guess. Let's say of 120, and from left with the 40 dimension. So let's try it. Perfect. We got this image in the center of the container, which is overlapped. Half of the image is overlapped on the container and half of it is on the screen. So perfect. Now we want this text which says login page. The same way as we mentioned the image, we can also mention the text widget as well. So it is very easy to deal with the widgets and Android Studio. As you start typing the text, and it will show up the suggestions, and you can choose it very easily. Okay, so here the text says login page. So, and you have to mention the text in the double quotes as it accepts string. So it says login page. Okay, so let's try to give some styling. We have property called style, and in that we have a widget called textile. And in that I can mention font size, font weight, and color. So let's start with the color, which says colors dot deep purple with the lighter shade again. Let's say 100. And let's try to give some font weight, and here I want the font should be bold. So let's mention that. Font weight dot bold. And some font size. So font size itself, it says of 25 maybe. Okay, let's try to run it. As you can see, it has, we got the text, but it has aligned come on the center of. Try to wrap it in the padding, and the same way as I did with the image. Let's say from top I'll give maybe 50, and from the left 130. Perfect. We got the text in the center of the screen. Let's try to make this image a little more to be aligned to the left side. You can play with the number. Perfect. Okay, so we are done with the stack, which we have mentioned a container and a text and an image. Let's head over to the PPT and let's see what else we can do. So here we have two text form fields, which says email and password, and the material button. So to get these functionality, I'm going to use this text form field widget, material button, and okay. So what is material button? You have to mention this material.dart package whenever you're going to start with the material button. So it has a basic syntax which have an on-press property, color, and a child, where we can mention the text. Let's say here it says button, but we can mention this button in the text widget itself. Okay, so let's try to do that on the SDK. So we are done with the stack. We can collapse it by here. And as I said, I have mentioned this column widget, so I can play with the n number of children. So here I want text form field widget, which takes the input. Here, as we can see in this UI, these forms are useful to take the input from the user. Okay. So in this widget, we have a property called decoration, and it takes input decoration widget. And in that, we are going to mention an icon. It is a symbol of email and a password as well. Okay, let's icon. Icon. Icons dot, let's say, of me. Here the SDK itself giving me so much of suggestions. So yeah, it's very easy. And let's try to give some color. Let's say I want that icon to be in the black color. You can specify any of the color. Okay, again we have a label text. Label text. It simply says email. And label style. Textile. Here we can mention the color. Colors dot black. So let's try and run it. Okay, I got this field, but it's not similar to the UI. In the UI itself, it is somehow very subtle. So we can get that by wrapping with the padding. And here I want it to be aligned in the horizontal. So I can mention it by using symmetric property and horizontal, let's say of 15. Yes. And here we are doing the same functionality, the same syntax for the password as well. So we can copy paste it to save our time. And here I have a icon called lock open maybe. Lock. Sometimes it takes time to give suggestions, but yeah, it's okay. And the text itself, it says password. Password. Okay. We got these two text form fields, and now we are going to get this button. So for that, I'm going to use material button. Material button. So it has an inbuilt property called onPress. We'll talk about it maybe 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, first we'll get the material button done with the color and the text. It has a colors dot deep purple with the lighter shade again. And it has a child property where we can mention the specific child. Here we want text, so we will mention the text. As I said, it accepts the string, so we have to make it in the double quotes. So the button itself says login. Okay, we got this button, but it is not exact as we can see in the PPT. So let's try to make it aligned again with wrapping with padding. So only, and let's say padding with from top 30 maybe. So yeah, I'm done with the first page. Let's head over to the other page where when we press on this button, now we can't do anything by pressing this button. Why? Because we haven't mentioned anything in the onPress property. Whenever you want to make or interact with this button, you have to mention something in this onPress property. Okay, so let's try to mention something. Here I want to navigate to the other, let's say page, let's say home page. Here I have created another home page to save our time. Let's navigate to it. So we have the property called navigator. Navigator dot push. So before mentioning this, I would like to take you through the PPT and explain some conceptual things. So here I would like to talk about navigator and routes. What is navigator and routes? Here it is a widget that help us to navigate between the routes, and the navigator follow the stack method. As you all are from the programming background, I think. So all are aware about push and pop methods. Hello.
Yeah, you continue. You continue. They are
Okay.
participants in that.
Okay. So in this method, like push and pop, as you can see in this animation, say here the blocks are overlapping on one on other. They are arranged in this order. So whenever we want to remove any of this block, we have to start with the first block here. So it is the recent one. So whenever we want to come outside the stack or any of the pages, we have to come from the recent one. So here, whenever we navigate to this page, this is called the recent one. So we have to come out of this page. So as you can see in this animation as well. And it also follow the syntax, which is this. It has a push property which takes context. Let's try to implement that. So context is in Flutter is nothing but the location. It specifies the location to the Android SDK. And okay, so in this navigator.push property, we again have a material page route. In that we have builder, which takes again context means location. And it simply points towards the page we want to navigate. So we want to navigate to the home page. I've given this class, this page, a home page. Perfect. But here, this page doesn't know what is home page. So we have to again tell this page that we have declared a page called home page. So for that, we have to specify for a class which is stateless. Here, this page is doing nothing, just showing the text widget, a text which says welcome to Flutter. So it's basically doing nothing. So we can use stateless widget. So in that, we will specify our class. And again, it shows error. Why? Because we haven't imported a material.dart package. So here, we can import it and tell this page that, yes, we have a class called homepage. So let's try to run it and see if it works. Okay, now, so in this page, we haven't declared any of the properties. So it's showing blank. So let's try to give some of the functionality to it. Again, I would like to return a scaffold which will give all the property, and it has a property called body where we can specify our text. Which simply says welcome to Flutter. Okay, so we got the text as you can see here, but we want that text to be aligned in the center of the screen. So let's try to wrap it with the centers widget, and yes, we got that. But I would like to give some styling. For that, I will mention the styling property, and here I have a textile widget. Font size, let's say of 20. Okay, so how do we navigate? So we can press on this button and we'll be able to get to the other page. And I would like to mention the app bar as well. It has a title where it says homepage. So yes, we got the app bar and we can navigate through this icon. So that's about it. I hope you got the idea what I was trying to convey. And yeah.
Really good. Thanks, Vaishnavi.
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you. Stop sharing screen if it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, if anyone have any question, whatever Vaishnavi has done or whatever we have done up till now, or you have any question related to the Flutter, you can feel free to ask us.
I think you were very clear. That means there are no questions.
So we have shared our Discord link. Madhura, can you share it again? Maybe if you want to learn Flutter in detail and you are interested to learn the app development, please join our Discord channel and then you can start with us the whole process again. So Dart, yeah. So Flutter uses the Dart language, and it is a very powerful. So you don't need to have like a third-party library to convert your native code into the like a Flutter code into the native code. Just like if you think about the React is a competitor for the Flutter, and when you develop any app which is useful for the iOS or Android, that time React needs a JavaScript to convert the app into the native platform. But the Dart is a very fast and that have their own ability to directly convert the code into native language. So we will share the Dart thing as well. Madhura, could you share some Dart website link as well? So now, actually, when we started learning Flutter, we started with the to get understand the widget and the structure of the Flutter app, and then we will go through the step by step with the Dart and the Flutter, so you can understand what is exactly where you have to use the Dart and how you can manage the code basically. Does anyone have any question? You can put it on the chat and you can yourself and ask the question. So you have all seen that this is very how easily we can develop some single page app or multi-page app with Flutter. And if you have any background of Android or thing that you know that how much time you need to take a time to develop the 2-page app in Android or any other language. No one has any question.
That's okay, Renuka.
Okay.
I think we have completed the workshop, if I mistake not.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So you can say the closing words and then we can end the meeting.
Okay. So thank you, Anandji, and thank you everyone to join this session. And I hope you all learned something from us and you are interested to learn the app development. So thank you all.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
thank you.
thank you very much. And I stop recording also, and I thank everybody for joining.